Hey guys, this is Chad. Welcome back to the Easy Astro Images channel. I just shot one of my best astrophotography pictures ever of M33, the Triangulum Galaxy. Flat from edge to edge, just beautiful. I shot it all with my brand new William Optics GT81. Such a pleasure to use. Let's talk about it right now on the channel.
Well, here she is, and you're probably wondering, Chad, if you just took your best images ever with this William Optics GT81, then why is it sitting here on a bench without a camera? Well, this is the reason here. Project 6-inch Hyperstar is in full effect. Tried working with it last night. There'll be plenty of videos coming up on this. So this baby here is pretty much the best telescope I would say that I've ever owned. Better than the Rasa 8, of course. It is just nothing but quality. I got it in a package deal that came with their 50mm guide scope, even though I ended up not using it. I ended up going with the ZWO off-axis guider back here in the back. And this tray here is just an aluminum perforated tray with 1/4-20 bolt holes all over it so you can bolt things to the top. Thank you, Mr. James Lamb. Again, I had my Pegasus Astro power box and stuff mounted up here, all the cabling, so it was a nice clean setup. I had it mounted like I do most of my scopes to these Celestron bars here that you can get that are about 60 bucks. You can see that the regular dovetail it comes with just isn't gonna be long enough for us to achieve proper balance. So I have a few of these kicking around that I move from scope to scope as I change telescopes. Now if we take a look at the back of the scope here, we'll start with the focuser. Really nice focuser that comes on this thing. Of course, you would expect nothing less from William Optics. On the other side though, I did adapt a ZWO electronic autofocuser. Just can't beat those for the money. It works really good, screws right underneath with all the hardware that you need. Don't have to worry about anything. Next in line is the William Optics Flat 61A version 3, and this is an adjustable focal reducer so you can achieve proper backspacing to get the reduction value that you need. Typically with all of our ZWO stuff, we need 55mm. In this case, with this focal reducer, it needs about 62 and maybe like 0.4, 0.3. So it's really cool how you can adjust that. I'll show you that here in a second. And then right behind that, we have the off-axis guider from ZWO. My first time using this, it actually worked out super well after a little bit of tuning and focusing issues that I worked through. ZWO filter drawer, just to keep everything consistent. It matches both of these parts are the exact same length, which is awesome. So you just substitute your 16.5 and your 21mm adapters for these pieces, and then the camera just goes right back onto the end. Now this focal reducer has about, I don't know, 10 to 12mm worth of travel, and it's super easy to work and get your backspacing so you can have a perfectly flat field. It's the best field that I've ever had. The stars are just pinpoint. It's so nice working with refractors. It did take a little bit of work, balancing and everything out for some reason, but once I got this thing going, it's a shame that the weather has been the way it has been and I didn't get to use it as much as I wanted to, and now I'm full bore on Project 6-inch Hyperstar. But this thing's got a built-in rotator into it, which is completely awesome. So this whole mechanism back here will rotate and not mess up your focus or your imaging train or anything at all like that. To simply adjust this focuser, you just unbind this wheel and then you can move this in and out. It's got some a scale on the side there so you can figure out where you're at. You put it at about 7mm and just start from there. And then you pretty much just want to hold everything and unloosen it and then just kind of tweak this whole thing by a half a turn, quarter of a turn, until you're happy with your stars and your field looks really flat. So everything worked out perfect. Again, thanks to James for his very intuitive videos on how he did all that. It's really nice to copy people's setups that are known to work It's definitely great that YouTube is like an astronomer's best friend, that we are able to do things like that. I would have never been able to get this working as well as I did if it wasn't for his instructions. So that's why I kind of want to pass them along to you guys. Now, this scope is a definite winner when it comes to getting something in that 400 millimeter type of focal length. When I have the reducer set up, according to ASTAP and Nina, I'm at like 385. So 385 at that focal ratio, which I'll have to double check it, 4.5, maybe 4.9. We'll put it on the screen here. Isn't too bad. So, you know, the more time you can get in it, it's great. But, you know, this time of year for me, it is just horrible because literally for all the tuning that I had to do on this thing, working in 4 to 6 hour time windows of between clouds, getting everything tuned, gathering data, full moon, everything else, it's just been kind of fun, but also kind of a nervous riot. I guess the big question now is whether or not I will end up keeping this setup, just because it's so similar to the Hyperstar. The Hyperstar is going to end up at about 300 millimeters in focal length. And of course, it's going to be running at f1.9, and that thing should scream. But I don't really know if I'm going to get the quality of it. It's that quality over quantity type of thing. I need to work really hard on the Hyperstar to get things going to work as good as this scope does. So I come back to one of my earlier videos that I did about recommending what kind of scope you should get. Something like this is a scope that you can have for your entire life. It's just like a great Honda car or Toyota. Once you get it up and running, it's just gonna run, and you're gonna be able to do little things like I could switch easily to a mono camera and the filter wheel, because the ZWO stuff is all the same length. I can just switch out individual components, and everything is pretty much just gonna line up and work. I'm not gonna have to worry about spacing issues or anything like that. And if my stars look a little wonky, all I have to do is just make these nice little tweaks, which is just super awesome. And we love things to be easy around here. So last time I checked, this whole thing was still in stock at different manufacturers with the guide scope. I would go ahead and try that out. Why wouldn't you want a free guide scope? And I think that your results will probably be better than mine. I think my mount is acting a little funny, even though once I finally got things balanced out correctly and worked on PhD a little bit and the actual guide star shape with the off-axis guider, everything just worked out fantastic. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this telescope for now, guys. We are gonna be working on the Hyperstar now. So there's gonna be a lot of videos coming up on that. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I had it out last night and things are a total wreck. Celestron decided that they don't put set screws in order to move your corrector plate in your C6. So I'm gonna have to shim that out a little bit, and I'm gonna work on that tonight. And that's all part of some upcoming videos, show you how we can get the Hyperstar running on this. So thanks again for stopping by. Please continue to subscribe, and peace.